Isnaksiltit, Isquiska Uplesinum Kla. The name I'm known to this land is Uplesinum Kla. That's thunder and lightning. And I'm going to share just a brief story with you, and just the acknowledgement of the land. We are here in the Methau, but at one time our people resided all through this area and all along the waters and the rivers and the confluences, which is now known as the Columbia River. We had a great alliance between all of our tribes. We had a great relationship in a big, beautiful, healthy nation. And we lived abundantly through the 4 seasons here. In our area, the salmon was very abundant, game, medicines from the plants, the roots, the berries. And through the 4 seasons, we lived traveling through the different areas where these foods come from. There are medicines here in this valley that are abundant, and on the other territory, they are not abundant, but they have other things like itqua, the black camas. Other places there's chaklusa, the white camas. Other places there's the huckleberries that are abundant. So on and so forth. We had reciprocal relationships of trade. So the waterways were very important to us. That was our way of travel, as well as the horse. So these are things that have been passed down through our elders and through many generations. We lived peacefully together. And we had vitality, which is health, because we had a variety of our diet. Our trade networks extended all the way down along into the coastal people. So my mom used to teach me a few words, which was Chinook jargon, she referred to it. So my other Kikwapa, my other puppy that is here with me today, his name is Skookum, which is a Chinook jargon word to honor that relationship. My girl dog here that's with me, her name is Oops, little sister, which here is in our Inselkchin language, which is spoken here in this area. So today I come and talk about a little bit about land acknowledgement. And to me, I think this is something I hear more people talking about these days, but they often don't understand a deeper meaning behind land acknowledgement. Land acknowledgement, to me, comes all the way from our creation stories. And when we talk about our creation stories, we can't talk about that without water. And in our creation stories, we also, first of all, acknowledge Kulinchutin, Creator. And He created everything. And Siwul, which was here at the very beginning, the water. That's what this whole planet was. And water is so vital. It is a source for all life. It is a medicine. It is a spirit. And it has healing properties within it. And with water, clean, clear water is required for all of our plants, which are our medicines, for all the animals to drink. And all life requires clean water. So it's always important to always acknowledge our water, which was here at the very beginning. And along with that, we refer to the creation of through time, which also brings out, the Tumhula. In our creation stories, we talk about the creation of Tumhula, which is Mother Earth. All the minerals, all the things that grow from Mother Earth, the herbs, the plants, the plant medicines, the trees, all the things that Mother Earth sustains us with, all the medicines and foods and things that all life needs to live. Mother Earth provides for us all with good natural foods, which are medicines themselves. Then in our creation stories, we refer to our tamich, the tamich, which is the animals, the four-legged, the ones that crawl, the ones that are in the ground, and so forth. All the things that you see out here in nature, they also are our teachers. They've showed us many things, and through our creation stories, they are our ancestors that have been here, from the time that they were created and the time that we humans were created. So they shared with us valuable knowledge of plant medicines. They showed us valuable ways to live, which is our sacred laws, our natural laws that are often referred to. And within these laws and these stories that have been passed down, our people learn the values of respect and honesty and how to live in harmony and unity with each other, as well as our animal relatives and nature, and respect to the water, to Tamhulak, Mother Earth, all the things that reside within the water, all the things that reside upon Mother Earth. And we have a respect, we have balance, and how we conduct ourselves within that realm of relationship. So the things that we've been taught our people many things that sustained us from thousands and thousands of years to live here peacefully with each other. And our language, our tsikan, kept us, in communication with each other in a respectful way. Our ceremonies, our quilston, our snichwam, all these things that taught us how to respect each other, honor each other, and pray for each other and help one another. Is my great-great-grandmother once said that we all have a mission and purpose here in life. And within that, we understood our mission and purpose through the wisdom that was given to us through our stories and through our teachings. And in this way, we had a reciprocation of respect for one another. So once we went in to our relatives' territory, we always acknowledged them with gifts, food, the things that grew in our areas, the things that maybe we had abundance of to help them. Maybe their tribe suffered a great fire, or they were had a small yield of salmon, and we were able to come down from Kettle Falls and help them. Next year they would help us, or we would have relationships of trade. So we always took care of each other in that way. So when we would arrive into a certain tribe or certain region, we would always announce, our intention of being there. And often that was through gifts, through our songs, and through our announcement, through our trade and our relationships that we had. So in this way, our relatives would know, it's a sign of respect. And nowadays, in modern times, if you ever followed our canoe journeys, in those canoe journeys, what you'll see on the coast, as well as here locally, we've been traveling up to the Kettle Falls for the last few years, and we travel with our fellow canoe families from the Kalispels, the Kootenays, the Coeur d'Alenes, the Spokane, the Arrow Lakes, our Skaluk relatives, and pretty soon the Nimipu will also be joining us. But we also are bringing these things back to our tribes and promoting this to our non-Indigenous people, to have that sign of respect. Once they come onto our territories, that they understand, that they always acknowledge that relationship, a sign of respect. And with respect like that, Inikum Kasapi, a long time ago, our people never had to worry about putting locks on their doors. People didn't have what we have today is, theft and a lot of things that are happening, and throughout society. But it is because through these teachings of respect that our people honored that. My great uncle, Martin Louis, talks about the time when he was alive before the first automobile even arrived. In Chilim, he talks about how people took care of each other, and sometimes they would leave their place unlocked, and sometimes these visitors would come over, and if they needed a place to sleep, they would sleep. But if they needed something to eat, they could eat. But always they would clean up, take care of themselves, and move on, leave something in return. That was just our way that our people took care of each other. And so these days when we talk about a land acknowledgement, it goes back to a long time ago when our people had relationships with one another. We had respect for one another. If we went into your territory or into your town or even to your home, that we always carried ourselves with respect and that things would be acknowledged. There was always a reciprocation, of things given, and received, and these are the things that we must always honor, especially to always understand our responsibilities to honor our Tumhula, Mother Earth, and all the things that live here, that have lived here long before us. And we acknowledge them, we acknowledge the land. So wherever you are on what is referred to as Turtle Island, North America, South America, Canada, these are indigenous lands. These are indigenous territories. Our people have been removed many times by force and violence. And within that, we have sacred sites. We have sacred places all throughout this whole continent that our people had deep reverence and relationship to that land. So to further create awareness, it's important, and I encourage you, no matter where you are, to understand the history of the people of that land. Why are they not there? Why are their presence not known there? Why are the sacred sites not being honored? This is the time that we can come together and learn and pursue that indigenous knowledge and that history of that land and promote the voices of those indigenous people of that land and to support them to get back into these areas so we can once again honor this land, because the land also misses us, it misses the language, it misses the songs, it misses the acknowledgement, the reverence, the prayers that have been here since time immemorial. So thank you for being strong. Thank you, Lemlem, to you for taking time to acknowledge the land. Thank you for having reverence and respect to the land and to the indigenous First Nations people of this land. And I hope that we will learn to walk together as one, with one heart, one mind, and one spirit. Lemlem.